What's up guys, LeopoldTheBrave here, and with Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled's first Grand Prix coming to a close this week, I figured it'd be a pretty good idea to come up with some more themes and ideas for Grand Prix events. We already have so much content confirmed already, up until September at least, and with this game's launch being the biggest in Crash Bandicoot history, they're most likely gonna go even further. Obviously we don't know all the details yet of the next Grand Prix or the Spyro one, but I think I'll leave those up to being a surprise. These will be speculations on all new Grand Prix, so let's hit the gas pedal. Let's of course begin with October's Grand Prix, which is obviously going to be Halloween themed. And it really should be Halloween themed. Not just because it's October, but it would open the door for a ton of highly requested characters. I mean, think about it. Our spooky girl Nina Cortex could be the star of the Grand Prix, and with her she could bring Koala Kong, Komodo Mo, Embryo, and Embryo's hulkish form. Or even Rillaru. Just these highly requested villains and boss characters. Everyone's gonna be hungry for it after having to deal with Baby T and all the baby characters. And when it comes to the track, it would of course have to be Madame Amberly's Academy of Evil from Crash Twinsanity. It's really the only spooky themed Crash level I can think of off the top of my head. I'm sure there's more somewhere, but that's all that comes to mind. We'd obviously also get really cool Halloween themed stickers and costumes, one of which could be Skeleton Crash, or maybe even Gladiator Tiny from Warped. But one thing I've been really excited to see as the game goes on are paint jobs. With the chrome of the relic paints, the shine of the iridescent paints, and the glow in the textures of the electron paints, I'm really excited to see what creative things they could do with the paints in the future. I could honestly make an entire video alone on that, just watch. But as far as Halloween themed paints go, perhaps we could get some that glow in the dark, revealing a secret image or pattern or something. Or maybe a paint job that makes you radiate this ghostly aura or energy. So as far as Halloween goes, there's plenty of creative ideas you could pick. These highly requested villainous and boss characters, of course the spooky Madame Amberly's Academy of Evil track, and a bunch of cool Halloween themed costumes and custom items. But let's wait and see what we get. For November's Grand Prix, you'd expect me to go with Thanksgiving, but that's not exactly the case. You see, not only is Thanksgiving an America-only holiday, but Beenox, the developers of the game, aren't even an American-based studio. They're in Canada. Not only those two facts, but there's also not really much you could do with a Thanksgiving-themed Grand Prix. I mean, you could make some turkey stickers or something. There's no Thanksgiving-themed levels I can think of in the Crash Bandicoot universe. And the only really costumes you could do are pilgrims and Indians. So with all of that, no, Thanksgiving is not going to be the November Grand Prix. Instead, I think it's going to be based on tag team racing, just exploding everything they've slowly been building up to with Chicken Stew, the tag team racing inspired prehistoric playground, etc. So of course we'd be getting characters like Von Clutch, Pasadena Opossum, Willy Wumpa Cheeks, and Chicken Stew would finally be playable. And as for tracks, while they could go with just another one from Crash Tag Team Racing like Track in the Beanstalk, or maybe one of the outer space themed ones, I'd actually much rather like to race through Von Clutch's motor world itself, the hub world of the game. You could get little snippets of each theme the game had as you pass by their tracks, like the prehistoric levels, the pirate levels, the fairy tale levels, the Egypt levels, the space levels, and perhaps on the sidelines you could have the pedestrians or park goers making comments about your racing as you go along. There are plenty of opportunities to drop tag team racing inspired stuff, but I think a Grand Prix specifically focused on it would be the best way to drop the bulk of it. And November seems like the soonest opportunity we'll get. For December, I'm sad to say that I don't really see a Christmas theme coming either. Judging by the recent update that changed costume names that could potentially be taken as offensive, like Black Zem, Red Papu Papu, and Watermelon Tana, it sadly seems that Beenox may be the type that would find Christmas offensive and excluding of other groups. Because of course, you know, some celebrate Hanukkah or Kwanzaa. So at the very least, if we have it at all, they'd label it as a holiday Grand Prix. But I'm also not sure if it would happen based on the tracks. We already have 4 tracks in the game based around snow and winter. Polar Pass, Blizzard Bluff, Meteor Gorge, and even Barren Ruins has some snow in it. So I honestly don't think we'll be getting a Christmas or holiday themed Grand Prix until next year when they've added enough tracks for a 5th snow level to be balanced. Instead, for the Grand Prix of December this year, I think they're going to go after the last bit of big requests. Something super creative that they can have a lot of freedom with. And the first thing I can think of is an enemy pack. You know, Papu Papu's tribesmen, the lab assistants, the boar, the Bearminator, and of course Rillaroo, if they went with Hulk and Brio in the October Grand Prix. But yeah, for those characters they could do a lot, especially with the lab assistants considering how many different models they already have in the game. And for the tracks they could always take from the games what they haven't taken yet, like the medieval theme, or maybe a race along the Great Wall of China and Orient Express from Crash Warped. So yeah, for the December Grand Prix I think they're going to tie up all the loose ends that they need to before going balls to the wall crazy with 2020's Grand Prix. Now those are just 3 fun Grand Prix ideas, but I actually have a lot more. But the thing is, the rest are kind of interesting and I'm saving them for another video. But to give a bit too obvious of a hint, you know how Splatoon sometimes has these license-themed Splatfests? Like they had a SpongeBob one, a Ninja Turtles one, a Transformers one? I'm curious at what it would be like if Crash were to dive into that area as well. We'll already have nearly every Crash character imaginable by that point if they go by my thoughts. Plus some Spyro, so I think there's more room for more crossovers. But with that said though, I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you guys next time. LeopoldTheBrave out.